Good morning, guys. Back to Monday, back to the grind, back to the world getting back to business. I got an interesting email over the weekend from one of you guys, and it was pretty interesting for a simple reason as this. He asked, every time I go into the store, the grocery store, the Walmart, or whatever it is, talking about food, he says, everything seems to be pretty well stocked, excluding beef. Okay. Now, in some respects, I'll agree. In some respects, I'll disagree because it depends on where you are and what you're looking at. Produce seems to be okay. Meat seems to be okay. Uh, Paper products and stuff like that. But no, we haven't seen the pain by any means yet as to what's coming. And what he asked in the email that he sent me was, you know, who's getting rich off of this all this talk of shortage? Well, I don't think anybody's getting rich. Uh, what I think it is that you have companies that are pulling out all the stops to do whatever they can. Now, if you look in the stores, this is the interesting thing because I've checked this out. Look at the brands. There may be tomato sauce on the shelf, but it may not be all the ones that you're normally getting. Say spaghetti sauce or whatever. You know, there may be Prego, but no ragu or something like that. There's still spaghetti sauce, but not everything. So, do you have stores buying whatever they can get? Do you have spaghetti sauce? Yes, we have contadina. Okay, great. Give me all I can get for that, just so they've got spaghetti sauce on the shelves. That's part of it. Okay. But what you really have to start paying attention to is stuff that's outside the food realm. Okay. Start looking at some of those basic necessities that we don't think about on a daily basis. Go look for light bulbs. Those are pretty hard to find. Okay. Sure, you can go out and buy the $8 per bulb curly Q whatever light bulb you got. Those seem to be there, but the ones that most of us use, the round bulbs, those are few and far between. Look at things like cotton balls. I bought cotton balls about 2 weeks ago. Get the last bag in Walmart. Start looking at some of that stuff because that is more international than domestic. Some of a good portion of the food we get is relatively domestic. Okay, maybe I don't know. If I had a guess, I'd say purely a guess. Say 30% of the food that's in our grocery store comes from somewhere else. Okay, but when you go into Walmart and start looking on the shelves, 80% of the stuff in Walmart is not made in the U.S. That's where we're going to start seeing the shortages. Those are the things that it might behoove you to start picking up. Light bulbs, furnace filters, go through your house and think of some of those things that, maybe not so much, more manufacturing products rather than food products. Now, why do I say this is worthwhile? Okay, here's a good one for you. Try going to buy tools. Mountaintop Preps went to Tractor Supply this weekend to buy a new rake. There was one. Springtime, okay? You think garden tools would be littered in the shelves. One. Okay. Get out and start buying some of this stuff that you need, that you might need in the future. Again, talk about tools, shovels, rakes, whatever would be. We've talked about spare parts for things, many times to have, auto parts or whatever it is, the basic stuff. I mean, you're not going to go buy a new master cylinder for the car or something like that. That's, a little much, but do you have those extra oil filters? Do you have a jug of oil? maybe some brake parts or whatever would be. Those are things maybe because you go to the mechanic and say, I'd like an oil change. And the guy goes, yeah, I know how to do it. I just don't have filters. Okay, no problem. I have one here. Okay, so thought process. But why do I say this is going to happen? All right, so if you take a look at what happened over the weekend in many different respects. On Friday, a lot of you guys probably know the Dow dropped over 1,000 points. Okay, not good. Over the weekend, Emmanuel Macron won his re-election bid over Marine Le Pen. Not by that much, but he won, so France decided, hey, we still want to be a socialist state. Okay, like most of Europe, they all want this socialist crap. Olaf Scholz or whatever it is, they could say they're democracies all they want, but yes, but if the people, as the old saying goes, you can vote your way into socialism, you can't vote your way out. Eventually, you're screwed. But so let's look at what's going on this morning, all right? And this is where it gets a little worrisome because I've said for a while, we're going to have economic chaos in the markets. Right now, okay, it's 6:30 in the morning. Dow futures down, indicating the market's going to open down 300 more points. All right. Yeah, okay, fine. That's almost 1%. So there be. But let's look at what happened around the world this morning or today. Okay. Because obviously they're all ahead of us. Oh, the Shanghai index, China, market was down 5% today. What does China get? Manufacturing. What's going on? Gee, they're worried about more lockdowns. They're worried about, 51 deaths in Shanghai over the weekend from everybody's, favorite thing. You know what I'm talking about. We've heard stories on, the Chinese, the only way that people are allowed to go to work is if they basically live at the plant, okay? So they're quarantined to the plant. Can't go home, see your kids, see your wife, see your boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever the hell would be. You got to live at the plant, okay? Got to work. Country first, remember, everything you do is for Xi Jinping. This is going to start causing problems in getting manufacturing goods here to the States. We've all seen the videos, or let's not say we've all seen it, but we've all talked about it. Monkey Works has put up those pictures of the satellite pictures of all the ships sitting outside of Shanghai. There's thousands of them waiting to load or unload. They can't go into port. If they can't get loaded, that means they can't come here. Who cares about Los Angeles and Long Beach for unloading the stuff if the stuff never gets loaded in the first place? So how did this affect the rest of the world? Oh, let's look at the Hang Seng Index. Okay, this is Hong Kong, all right? Down almost 4% today. How is this affecting Europe? Oh, let's see, the German market, the DAX, that's down almost 2%. The FTSE, that's currently down around 2%. The Nikkei, that's Japan. The Japanese are in trouble. That's 2%. Okay. Japan is definitely going into a deep recession. China looks like it's going into a recession. This is all coming here. I mean, I don't have to tell anybody about recession/depression coming. But the value of your dollar, the buying power, I mean, a $1 bill is going to say one on it, forever. Okay, it's not like all of a sudden you're going to wake up one morning and magically it says 50 cents. But what can that $1 buy? Can it buy you the shovel? Can it buy you the light bulb? Can it buy you the towels that you need, the clothing, the shoes? Most of us probably have our food pretty well taken care of on this channel. Obviously, I know there's some new people that are doing it too, all right? But tangible goods is where the value of your dollar needs to be right now. Stuff that you may not be able to get. Two is one and one is none. You got a pair of tennis shoes? Buy a second one. Put it away. Chances are my feet haven't grown in 40 years. Okay? If I get another size 13s, they'll be good a year from now. If I can buy them a year from now, who knows? But if I've got one put back, I'm there. Socks, underwear, anything like this. Get some extra. Put it away. I'm not saying go out and buy yourself a second wardrobe, okay? But get those basics. Shoes, socks, underwear, light bulbs, filters, whatever would be. A lot of this stuff isn't that expensive. You can go into Walmart for $100 and walk out with a decent, some underwear, some socks, some t-shirts, whatever. Who cares? Go to the thrift store, get some of this stuff and put it back. It's going to be hugely important when you can't get it anymore. We talk about all the time. Pressure canning. Do you have spare seals, spare rings for your pressure canner? That might be worth getting. Lids. We talk about that. We seem to always find shortages in lids. Get them while you can. This isn't the time where people are buying canning supplies, so it sits on the shelf. Buy it now. The biggest way you're going to prep well is to buy the stuff that's out of season. This time of year, great time to buy winter clothes. Why? Because it's 70, 80, 90% off. They don't want to stick it in the warehouse, okay? Who cares about style? Buy your canning jars, because in the fall, late summer, fall, forget it. Everybody wants to get them. Get the stuff now while you can, guys. The writing is on the wall. You are starting to hear the big banks reducing GDP estimates, reducing earnings estimations, starting to call for market crashes, starting to call for deep recessions. They're typically 6 months behind. By the time they call it, we're already in it. Trust me, that's voice of experience. Okay? But get these tangible goods now, because if we're 6 months ahead of them, like, the public usually is, that means 6 months from now, we're not going to be able to get a lot of this stuff. Have a good one. Pinball out.